I thought I'd talk about the DJI Osmo Pocket 2 because I kind of want to share with you some ideas on finding your voice using this little device. I figured out a system that works for me, and I thought I'd just share it with you in case you decide to do the same thing. Your voice is vibration. It's the thing that calls your tribe to you.
The world is ready to understand that it has a vibrational basis. And the world is ready for those like you who understand the vibrational basis, who are applying yourself vibrationally, which means emotionally, who are feeling good because you choose to, not because something gives you reason to, who are having paradigm shifts, who are creating things that are so outside the box that most people believe and understand, that it is going to make all kinds of people stand up and take notice that this is a vibrational world and that all things are possible.
Like, what do I do then? It's like, stay in your creative heart. Keep creating. That's how you immediately push away all of these influences.
Yeah, very good. Beautifully put. Couldn't agree more. And that also reminds us that the prime function of the human, the Adamite, as I refer to it as, is creativity, creative expansion, affirmation. Essential, because that's the catalyzing factor for the empathic or psionic activation. Once the empathy waveform is activated and psionic intelligence is flamed, at that point you are now in coherence with the creator. You are now a creator. You're an extension, a true son or daughter of God.
So check this out. This is the extender rod that DJI makes. And the thing of it is, this rod itself, kind of on the expensive side. I find it totally worth it, and here's why. It actually connects directly into the Osmo Pocket 2 so that you can extend this out and you can get a good angle and still have the control features all right here. Now, this little thing right here is to put your phone into. Now, if you get a transmitter, then you can actually transmit there and you can see on your phone better than the screen that it has. But the few times that I've used that feature, it actually drains my phone really fast. And I haven't so far tended to need it because in the beginning, I thought that I want to have the tracking on. But the few times that I have had the tracking on and I've had it way out like that, it's actually produced more movement than I liked. By keeping the tracking off, whether it be active track or face track, it actually keeps it so that I don't have that movement. I'll still keep within what I'm doing, but I don't have the motion sickness that you might get. One of my videos, it definitely came through that way, unfortunately. So anyway, this gives you all kinds of control, including having a little joystick, and it's just a great flipping the camera back and forth, record on and off, and some function buttons. It's awesome. And it doesn't drain your battery. The reason this works out so well is because I'm able to use so many different angles. I can go below, I can go way above, I can go to the side, I can just have it right there. It's pretty versatile. It just makes it so much easier to start walking and talking and stop recording and start recording without having to stop, reach up, and fiddle around with the menu. It may not seem like a lot, but getting in that menu on the screen is kind of a hassle. So dialing in your settings before you start, such as the Pro mode, which I'll show you in a little bit, is best. And then you can just set it out and start walking and talking. And it works great. That's the Osmo Pocket 2. And it's really cool. Highly recommended, but you can use any sort of camera. You could use your phone and actually get a stabilizer for your phone. So if you already have a phone, that could definitely be a way to go. But regardless of what you use, one of the things is, okay, when you go out there, are you just winging it, or do you have a list of what to talk about? And that's what I'm going to show you next. Wherever you're at, you want to be able to expand upon your ideas in a way that's basically organized, but also has some flow to it. You'll have to experiment to find your own system, obviously. But for me, I found it best to basically keep notes of what I want to talk about, and then go ahead and use that as a framework but then wing it some. So I have a bit of both. Now, it does take some practice, and you can actually get inspired from other people. In fact, there's a writing exercise you can do that kind of transcends over to video, I think. And this has to do with taking one of your favorite writers. Let's say you love Hemingway. Go ahead and take a book by Hemingway and write out the passages. Just keep writing and writing. Directly write what Hemingway wrote, and do this for a couple pages, and just keep doing that on a regular basis. And what happens is you understand Hemingway's writing at a different level when you do that. And it kind of bleeds into your own writing. You'll find yourself writing like Hemingway. Now, it's not recommended that you be Hemingway, that you copy Hemingway. It means you're getting inspiration from Hemingway or whoever else. Now, this transpires over, I think, to video, because what you can do is you can watch other people's videos and you can see what they're doing, and you can decide, okay, I really like that. You can practice that technique. You're not being them. A lot of people make mistakes like they try to be Peter McKinnon, meaning, it's Peter McKinnon. They try to do the intro like Peter McKinnon. And they do all these little things that Peter McKinnon did. You can copy Peter McKinnon and then kind of riff off of it until you find your own little organic thing that you do. And although it might have some Peter McKinnon flavor, over time it doesn't. And so the trick of it is to have a bit more of your own flavor in the beginning so that people don't kind of see it and go, oh, you're just copying Peter McKinnon. You don't really want to do that, but you can take some inspiration. Regardless, you can actually do little exercises like that to get inspiration from other people, but you learn to have your own voice along the way. And the only way I've found so far to really do that organically is to not really have a script. You're going to have, let's say, some bullet points that you go off of. Okay, you do want to review what you're going to say and think about it, and maybe even say it aloud a couple times, or just have some ideas there, but then you're going to let those go so that when you do talk and walk, it's not necessarily going to be the same, but it's going to have pretty much the same flavor. And every once in a while, I'll take out of my pocket a piece of paper and look at it and remind myself, oh, right, I want to make these points. And then I'll make those points, but it won't be necessarily exactly as a script would be, right? And so to find that approach, I found it best to basically go and do some lives. You can do Facebook Lives on a regular basis, and guess what? Nobody's watching. That's the beauty of it. You think people are watching, nobody's watching. But the anticipation that somebody might be makes your brain flip into this mode where you go ahead and talk naturally. And you talk in this way on a regular basis, and you do it for 1 to 3 minutes, let's say in the beginning. Very short, something that you've done before, you've spoken of before, and allows you to basically get into that mode. And you start to practice this and you watch yourself. You'll be able to see where you want to make a correction. And then the next time that you do that, you go ahead and make that correction. But you don't pile it on. You just pick one thing that you're going to correct the next time. If you pile it on, you'll become frustrated. There'll be too much that you'll think that you need to do. And then when you go to do it, it'll just get in the way. But if you focus on one little technique that you want to practice, or one little way you want to say something different, then you can do that the next time you do the Facebook Live. So you do Facebook Lives on a regular basis. That's one way. There are many other tools, but that's one way to really develop out or start developing out your voice. So that's basically the process. You come up with these ideas, you can write out your ideas, and then you have these bullet points, and you bring your paper with you, or you have it with you wherever you're at, and you can kind of pause and watch it. Don't be afraid to go ahead and take your bullet points and just start riffing. And you have concrete ideas. It's not like you don't. I do a lot of research on particular things. I see particular clips I want to take, and then I start thinking about connections to different books and things that I've heard, ideas that I've had that I write down all the time, and I combine them together and kind of connect my own dots, and then put it down into some form. I might just write it out, do some free writing, write out my ideas, and then take those ideas and boil them down to some bullet points, then put those bullet points in a piece of paper and go for a walk. That's kind of a nutshell. The kind of thing you can do just taking something like the Osmo Pocket 2 and start developing your voice, because guess what? Your voice is vibration. It's the thing that calls your tribe to you. Developing your voice allows you to practice a sort of resonance that's going to attract the right people and repel the rest. You don't want everybody. How you speak and what you say are filters. They're going to filter away those people who you don't want in your tribe and are going to attract those that you do. But you have to develop your voice and keep developing it over time. It's not like it ever ends. I'm certainly not saying my voice is fully developed in terms of being on camera or in terms of saying what I want to say or how I want to say it, but it's something that I practice and practice and practice. It's honing a craft. It's mastery of craft. Over time, I think there's a certain way of doing it that can attract the right people and repel the rest. Something like this Tumbler offers a bit of a prompt. It reminds you of those things that you want to do. And when you have this, which is made of a BPA-free lid, food-grade stainless steel, and it keeps it hot or cold, this thing is awesome. And there's a link for it down below. Now, something like this can be a helpful prompt to use in your video or just a prompt while you're drinking. Remember, what does defund the media really mean? And it reminds you to touch base with your core message that you want to put out there. You are your message by creating through your message, meaning you have some ideas, you have your ikigai, you have your core message, and when you put forth your message, it has a stronger connection than just say, I'm going to tell you about this. It has something behind it. It has meaning behind it, and it resonates more with an audience than, let's say the Daily News. Hoping you found this helpful. If it was, do give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.